will now learn the idea of justice as fairness, an idea developed by John Rawls, which provides a new voice in the discussion about fairness in the society and so has implications for the questions of distribution. But what is justice? Rawls suggests first to deal with the right understanding of this term. It's not easy because each person understands it differently. If you are a rich person, you will say that justice is when the taxes are equal because rich people create workplaces, are more efficient in production, and with low taxes they may produce more and give money to welfare. Moreover, having money for private education and private health system, you are not much interested in financing the public system, and in addition you can find due to your education enough arguments to support the idea that this is not just because each person is master of his life, etc. Poor people would have another understanding of justice. They would say that's not just that they can't send their children to a good school, and it is not just that they don't have an equal chance to remain healthy, to pay to protect themselves from disease, and to eat healthy food. If you are Afro-American, a woman, a part of any minority group, you may opt to enroll in a quota system, to attend university or to take public offices, etc. This will guarantee you more equal chances, which you often are deprived of. So, in order to provide justice for these people, some will think the quota system is a just solution, whereas other groups may think that justice is when you are better qualified for a position. And injustice is when somebody who scores less gets your place at the university or at work or in politics. Similarly, as a young or middle aged person, you are interested in paying less taxes, but as an older person, depending on the social system, you see that without these taxes, you can't afford health costs. So, we see that there are as many different views on justice as there are groups of people. We can't solve this problem of justice in a simple discourse or discussion because we can't help being influenced in the discussion by the particular situation we are in. But we still need the definition of justice. What is it? Rawls suggests that we have to make a thought experiment, which goes like this. You have to wear a veil of ignorance, which has to make sure that in our discussion about justice, these factors which make us thinking about justice differently won't play a role anymore. In other words, factors like the wealth of the person, the gender of the person, age, sex, religion, social status, material possessions, even mental and physical abilities. Does it go further? We have to assume that we decide about the basic rules of justice, but after having decided, all who have decided about a particular view of justice fall dead and rise up, but in a completely different condition. So you can die as a rich millionaire proposing a neoliberal system as a just one, but then you will rise up as 10th African baby of a woman in Nigeria with AIDS or some other illness which will cause you to be paralyzed for your whole life. So you will probably conclude that your initial idea was not so wise after all. In other words, that your situation profoundly affects your view of justice. Rawls thinks that we would come in such a situation to two so-called principles of justice as fairness. First would be that every individual has an equal right to basic liberties. Each person has an equal claim to a full adequate system of basic human rights and liberties. The second would be the difference principle that regulates inequalities, that only permits inequalities if they bring advantage to people with the worst position in society. To summarize, John Rawls tried to answer the question of what is just by determining the definition of what justice is. But he observed that an understanding of justice depends on many different factors like gender, age, wealth, health, color, and so on. We can only leave them behind when we assume that after defining justice, we'd all be dead and rise up in completely different condition. This is a metaphor that means that these factors shall not play a role in our understanding of justice. As a result, we come to two principles of justice which cover the important aspects of it: the equality of chances and the differential principle which secures the rights of the most vulnerable. This thought experiment has had a significant impact on the current understanding of justice.